Welcome. Hello, fellow Whovians. It's time for me to turn off the background TARDIS noise. There. Actually, we'll leave it on really low because we were gonna do it really low as as the thing goes on. And now I should take off this beautiful Watch Party logo that I threw up there that wonderful Kevo made. Welcome. It's time for another episode of Doctor Who, or it will be in 11 minutes. So we were kind of off, not logging in, futzing around, going, why are we talking about this not live? So let's continue our conversation that we were just having with Kevo and with Mark. We're just going to bypass all of the usual blah, blah, blah. Welcome, everybody. Glad you're all here. So where were we? We were talking theories.
We was talking about, like back in classic Who, it was called Seasons, and in new rebooted Who from 2005 was called Series. And the difference in the UK, a season is a selection of stories which are divided into parts, but it's all one story, while a series is individual episodes which makes up the series. And because of how the underlying storylines are so blatant in this one, would we classify the Ncuti Gatwa as a season or a series?
Mm-hmm. So like Flux would have been more like a season than a series in that regard. Okay. Well, I think it's going to depend on how we feel at the end of it, but I really love that. And I think that is really sharp thinking about the renaming and the reformatting of what we call it. I love that.
I'm just glad it's back, quite frankly. I don't care what we call it.
I know.
Yeah, at least we've got Doctor Who, you know what I mean? Whatever you think about it, we've got to Who. And after the 1987 wilderness years, where we just got random stuff until 96, and that was still technically random because it wasn't British, it was British, American, Canadian movie.
Yeah.
Which was for TV, which like some people say it is part of it, some people say it's not canon on it. It is canon now, and that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. After a long time, some things become canon, some things don't. But
and I would even say, a lot of people like to say that there is what the debate what the length of the more recent wilderness era of Doctor Who is, but I really think that there is inarguably at least like a 4-year wilderness period just because of pandemic and everything that happened with production. That was a huge part of why Flux was what it was, because everything was still in lockdown filming and everything like that. And we weren't being regularly delivered Doctor Who. The gap between production, this is the longest since the revival started. And so I think that in and of itself created this sort of wilderness period. And now we're really getting back on track for the first time since like series 12 in so many ways.
Yeah.
Well, just think about it. If someone was born in the reboot, they would be pretty much, 20 now? 19?
Yeah, they'd be 19 years old. So, yeah.
I'm just going to go over here and crumble into dust.
Well, no, but speaking of 19, and I can use that as a good segue, I, before this episode, was looking for something just to do while I was folding laundry. And for the first time ever, I was like, let me check out the Doctor Who official podcast. I've never checked it out. I've got time. I found myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. I don't know who those people are, and sometimes they're annoying, but also they're frequently insightful and said really interesting things that I found really made me think. Like, they pointed out to me the canister being so horrific. One of them was like, a regular show would never get away with that. Their standards and practices would immediately, like, they were like, there's an ear on this thing. That's horrific. But Doctor Who, and they always do such creative things. But one of the other things that they pointed to that I was really fascinated by, speaking of 19, one of the hosts keeps pointing to the idea, what if Ruby is a villain? All these things about what if she's a child of this trickster? We don't know how she's coming back in season 2. And I was like, interesting. And I feel like I haven't heard that many places put it so bluntly. And I was really shocked to hear it on the official Doctor Who podcast from the official people who talk to Russell T Davies every week. Hey, Dad. And I found that such an interesting concept. And I think that would make her departing and coming back really interesting. I think it would make the story of her and Ncuti really interesting. I think it would make why their relationship had to go so fast also really interesting. I think it feeds into why he's so terrified all the time, because he doesn't even realize he's with the villain. There's all these things. And like, again, so excited the Doctor Who is back, because this is such an exciting time where we don't know what's coming.
And I think that's right, because I was watching React, another YouTube station where they react to different things, and they had Ncuti and Millie on there reacting to saying which Doctor you prefer, which alien you prefer, and stuff like that. And one of the clips was the toy maker versus the master. And then if you rewatch it, the toy maker said there's something coming.
Mm-hmm.
Something's coming for you.
Yeah. The one who waits.
The one who waits. And
Yeah.
maybe that is Ruby.
It's hard to say. One of the things I saw today, and it was the first time I'd seen it, was, and I've been loving Confused Adipose. I always do, but I'm watching more of his stuff recently because he just does really good analysis. And he pointed out Sutek from
Three Doctors.
Yeah, no,
Pyramids of Mars.
Pyramids of Mars. Yes, thank you. Could be Susan Twist.
Yeah,
we've got the triad tech. Susan Triad, Susan Tech, Sutek. It was reaching, but it was interesting.
No,
he's still a god.
They love reaching. That's the thing.
Exactly. I also with the Susan Twist thing saw somewhere, and I don't know that if I saw it on video or if it was a text quote somewhere. Moffat, I think it was quoted saying, "Yeah, no, we ran out of actors."
Yeah.
Oh,
we're just using her because we could and we liked her, so we're just there's no backstory here. We're just being assholes about it, and I want
you have to leave it.
True. Honestly, I really do just want them to be just trolling the heck out of us with her.
Probably because we still don't know the neighbor who saw the TARDIS.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in ages.
And we haven't seen her in ages, and who knows? You know what I mean? Susan Twist could be a complete twist at the end.
I think the cast list shows her actually Mrs. Flood in this episode. Mrs. Flood comes back, and I think this might have been the episode she was on the cast list for. Or might not have been until the end. We'll find out. We will find out in 4 minutes, in fact. Less than.
Well, I've got my snacks.
Yes. I got my homemade pita chips.
I have my phone on.
So last week I couldn't get my TARDIS fridge working. Well, I got my TARDIS fridge working.
Yay! Oh.
So I've got my beverages. I've also got...
Sounds refreshing.
It is. I also got some Turkish Delight that I picked up in Florida.
I bet it's better than the UK Turkish Delight.
Probably. And it was very interesting. I had to pick it up because I was with the Dear Station Who people at Pensacon. And we found this amazing Mediterranean store. They were a restaurant and like a grocery store, and it was just it was incredible. I will be going back there when I go back to Pensacon the weekend after MegaCon this year. I'm sad though that things cross my feed and I go, oh, I can't justify that. There's a big Polynesian festival / tiki festival in Atlanta. Two weekends before MegaCon. I'm like, if that was like 1 week later, I would totally detour slightly off to Atlanta before MegaCon. And do that. I can't. I'm already going to be on the road for 3.5 weeks as it is. I can't do 3 more with that. It's like we don't have anything really cool like that at home.
I have another weird segue from the word Polynesian. Something else that came up during the Doctor Who podcast, they were talking about the preview of this episode, was that a lot of this episode is basically like Welsh Gothic horror. And I thought that was really cool. And I wanted to be like, yeah, Welsh Pride. You guys film in Wales all the time. I think that's great. I love seeing them do stuff like that in this new era, being like, let's do a episode that focuses so much on Wales. I also wanted to make sure before the month is out to say Asian American Pacific Islander Pride Month and Jewish American Heritage Month. Awesome things, history. That is what this show is it not? And I love that and love seeing stuff like that.
And I was in Wales last week. I did ask a couple of people whether or not they've come across the 73-yard myth. They had no idea
Any
what
clues?
I was talking about.
Find out. So we've only got a few seconds left here, so I want to throw this out. So if you're brand new to what we're doing here, we will be largely quiet on the feed.
It's up.
You'll have to bring up your Disney Plus or your iPlayer, watch it there. Please converse in the chats because we will be there as well watching that. My TV, I think, just turned off, which is not cool. And yeah, so we will, and then after the show, we'll take a quick break, let everyone catch up, and then we'll talk about it a little bit before we do the It's Here. So yeah, so tune into your iPlayer or your Disney Plus, and we will be back shortly.
Yep, and then okay, hitting play. Enjoy, everyone. Does everyone hit play? Cool. Ew. Ruby is rough. Jim Barr just asked of last week, why did the doctor walk down into the pit area walking? Why didn't he see the landmine? The doctor is careless. That is regular. I'm sure that's exactly going to be related to whatever happens tonight. It's always the doctor's fault. Uh-oh.
The end came early.
Oh, yeah. She's doing that a lot lately. Mm-hmm. White women always freaking out about something. Going to be action. Thanks for free. Hey, bucks for a room in this place. No, Ruby. something very Twin Peaks about this in general, but especially Red Hat Lady. She's very log lady. great mom. It was a great mom. Something horrible's about to happen to her. Mmm.
Harsh.
I love them roping a family in early. That's nice.
Yes.
Too dark, maybe. Too heavy. Not right. I think I know why Mark reacted.
So I guess I'm a couple of.
No, I love it. love it like I love Ruby's coat. Also, I'd say for those who are following us along that we're about at least halfway through. So keep following along, keep chugging. We'll let you know when we're all done, and we'll take a break and we'll discuss after that.
More and more interesting.
Violence. A little redundant on the use of the character wheel gasped about, but I'm enjoying this ride so far. Oh, cute boyfriend. Cute new boyfriend. Imagine we're gonna get cute girlfriend next. People will complain. We're sticking with boys. People aren't gonna complain. All right. She looks so cute as she's getting older. This music is so cute. I wonder if this is Murray Gold or if it's pop music. Candyman Jim Barr wants to know if you're eating custard.
No, I'm eating Cadbury's
Nice.
Dairy Milk Caramello Trifle.
Nice. Yeah, Marty is dressed like Audrey from Twin Peaks. There's very much Twin Peaks about this one. Beetle card. Wow. Dave said a few minutes ago he had 10 left, so I think he's got 8. I can't, if I'm watching on my phone, it counts backwards instead of forwards, and I'm not doing that kind of math. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, so less than 8 left. Yeah.
Okay, while everyone's catching up,
I'm on the trailer. Huh. What episode? All right, I am through the trailer. I am done. I don't know who else is done.
I'm done.
David, are you complete?
And I'm done. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of minutes break and let everyone top up on your snacks or whatever you need to do after watching the show. And we'll be back in a couple quick minutes to talk about what we just watched.
Sounds good.
That up. And then we need that up. And then we need to that up. Nope, that's not what we need up.
Pending.
Oh, there we go. We'll do that. And we'll be back in a few moments. We'll mute ourselves. And we're back. Everyone should hopefully have finished the episode. If you haven't, you may or may not wish to mute us for another couple of moments. I will have to update this particular clip. However, just a reminder before we get started.
Oh, not yet. Spoilers.
Spoilers are about to happen here. If you haven't watched the episode, although if you are now an hour and 9 minutes into this watch party and there's going to be spoilers for you for what just happened, I'm not sure why you're here. Just saying. Kevo's still muted.
But we are, thank you that you are still here.
Yes.
Even though we don't know why you're here, we're thank you that you're still here. Comment, like, and subscribe.
It's very, very true. So that was
my brain's fried.
Yeah.
I had concern of what this story would be from the beginning. This to me had huge vibes of, did anyone watch The Haunting of Hill House by Mike Flanagan on Netflix?
No.
Great horror. Check it out. But there is a ghostly element called the Bent Neck Lady that has very similar vibes to this for anyone who's watched it in a positive way. I thought it was really interesting that it feels like this was a quiet way of using the idea of a time paradox as a story device in many ways. And that is very fresh.
Mm-hmm.
To start off with, it felt like a Tom Baker story.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
Especially from the little quaint pub in the Welsh village.
The cliffs, yep.
The cliffs. Yep. And there's a lot of especially, I can't remember which episode of Fourth Doctor it is, but when they go to Stonehenge and stuff like that in the Fourth Doctor, and they go to the little henge and they find the little things and trinkets there, and it's got two ladies in it. I wish I could remember the name. If anyone can tell me what the name is, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. My brain's fried after watching the episode. I can't think of the episode. But it had that similar vibes until she went back to the city. And then it was like, okay, let's see where this goes now.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're trying to do a lot every episode too. So I think you feeling like those vibes are there is probably really intentional, but then they wanted to move on quickly and evoke new things. And I'm sure there were a lot of other references in there that either went over my head or, there was a lot of, for Russell, this was a very Moffat-y vibe episode.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And it left a lot. Now, unless I need to pay more attention, which is entirely possible, it left a lot open.
Yes, I agree.
Did I miss something here? And I
a lot unanswered.
Criticize that, but also, and this goes back to what we were talking about before it started. Something is happening. Something is building. Several somethings are probably building, quite frankly, and we don't know what it is yet. And this just adds to the mystery.
Yeah. But now, has it been reset? Has that time paradox been reset? That time loop?
That's what it seems like.
Because they didn't
break
the spell. So none of this has happened?
None of this has happened, and yet it's one of those things, usually in these, it feels like that's a closed loop that sits on the side of our timeline. Because I feel like that side timeline was to stop Mad Jack. And now, because of that, even though Ruby is fine, Mad Jack is stopped. We're not going to see that, scary nuclear holocaust from this guy in the 2040s. And that was why she was trapped in this. What we don't have is the answers. Are we going to get the answers of why this happened? Or is this just a spooky standalone story? Dave pointed to the fact that there's a lot of questions unanswered. And I wonder how many will remain that way in that regard, and that it's just meant to be, you know, a spooky, creepy story, and then we move on.
Mm-hmm.
But
there is a couple of things that were definitely cleared up. However,
Mm-hmm.
we know for a fact that Ruby is not Mrs. Flood. we know
And
for a
neither,
fact she's also
probably is Susan. Yeah, yep, probably not Susan Twist. First time that we had them in the same episode.
But also we've now seen Ruby old.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Unless we're full on MCU alternate dimensional things, right?
Yes.
That's
all three different women.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for pointing that out.
But then we possibly are, because when the walker came up to Ruby, I can see both of you. When it was just Ruby. So was the Doctor still there at the same time? Where's the Doctor gone for this episode?
And yeah, where did the Doctor go? Like, that is a really great question. That, of all the things, I feel like is the one that I most need resolved. Like, why did the Doctor disappear? Why did Ruby get pulled into this side timeline alone? I wonder if that has to do with her mystery or not. It might just be, you know,
or maybe
a plot device.
Maybe because she read the messages.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he did not.
He did not, but he did break it. So I don't know.
Love that.
He broke it. She read the messages. She gets brought into a different time stream.
So the big questions really come down to where's the Doctor and why? You know, how does she? What does she say to all of these people to make them run away? That's a thing.
I mean, to me, it's unanswered. But to me, I feel like, you know, the Blinovich effect. We talk about the things that happen when there's a time paradox and you put two people from the same time in the same place. And so to me, this was tacitly like using that as a device almost. You know, Ruby doesn't understand that that's what she's doing. Ruby doesn't understand until the end that that's who the old woman is. But it's because it's a time paradox, and that's why it makes people, you know, lose their minds a little bit, you know, and especially Kate as someone, even though she has all this training, you know, I almost wonder if even that's part of it. Why would you do this? Why would you cause this time paradox? Let's get out of here. So I found that really interesting, if that was the intent. I love the idea of using that as a device in a unique new way, because everything is so timey-wimey. We're making it all up. It could be anything.
The question is, was that old woman actually Ruby?
We're fairly. I think that was fairly clearly spelled out. That was Ruby. Like they called her Ruby.
But
you know, she went into the woman. I feel like that was the intention of the embracing her. You know, but like so much of why this happened, so much of how she survived this, I think, still could be tied into her overall mystery.
So if old Ruby was lying in bed,
and then like became the woman in the black coat, basically.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Did she embrace her?
She became embraced and became her. She realized this was an echo of her all along when she lived this full life, watching herself throughout this time. Why 73 yards? I don't know. That might be an arbitrary number. That might tie into Ruby's mystery. You know,
well, I said my mind is complex over this.
Yeah,
because
you know, a lot. Like I said, a lot of unanswered questions. A lot of theoretically resolved fan theories.
Yes, or at least layers added to these things. Completely agree.
I think both.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. This is something that it was really well pointed out in She-Hulk. And has certainly come up over, I think, you know, over the course of Doctor Who, in that some of these showrunners know darn well what the internet's going to do.
Yeah.
Like in She-Hulk, it was, you know, that she goes to this website and sees all of these hateful comments and all of this, and it might as well they might have well inserted those from the internet the day before. Like they knew this was going to happen, and I think some of that is where this has gone. RTD knows. We've said it before. I'll say it again. He is a master.
Knows we dig for clues. Yep.
Yeah, he knows where we are going to go before we do, and is not. He'll drop breadcrumbs going the wrong direction. He knows that everyone's going to be asking. Everyone's going to think that Mrs. Flood is Ruby and Susan Twist is Ruby, and like I don't think there's a theory that has been put out that man had not already accounted for.
There's a segment on the official pod that is called Doc. I think it was Doc to Dot, and it was like connecting the dots, and like they on the official are also fully talking about, this is what Russell does, which is why I'm like, this is going to end up being a triple blind now. We're all looking at Susan Twist, and we're missing something else that's completely in plain sight, or nothing means anything, and that's the twist. Like, because we know Russell does these things, is why like I'm expecting triple, quadruple twists at this point. I mean, being introduced to Barada last week, who I still believe is probably going to be Monday next year, because I don't think we have any reason not to believe it. But again, will it be a twist? Will she be someone else?
Yeah.
Just a little few bits, just in case the Australian, American, and international audience don't understand. Quid, when she said 60 quid, it meant £60 or $60. Okay. Buying half a pint of Coke for £5 is dead expensive. Okay. Normally it's about, when I was in Wales last week, I paid £5 for a pint, roughly. And that was at a golf course, not a little quaint village pub. So,
yeah.
The other thing which was quite interesting was the name of the party of what's his
Albion.
name? Yeah, with Graham. It's called Albion. Albion was the original name of England.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah,
it's probably meant to be evoke like a very classical feel for that party.
Yeah, well, Albion comes from the White Cliffs. That's where the word Alba means white. This is just referencing. Okay.
Yeah.
Other bits. Wales, even though it is part of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Wales do have a separate country. They speak a different language, and it's a bit like if you was looking for. So what happened in history is that the Romans invaded England and pushed the Celtics to the west and to the north. So a lot of the Celts moved to Wales, Cornwall, or Scotland, and also some of them in Ireland. Okay, so this is why they have different languages. Bit like how the Europeans settled in America with the how do you call it, Native Americans or
or indigenous.
The indigenous people of America have a different language to what you guys speak now. Right. It's the same thing with Welsh. Welsh Cornish, which is a county of that, are similar in Celtic, but are variations of the same language. But they speak slightly different. So a Scottish person couldn't really understand someone from Cornwall. But Cornwall and Welsh are very similar. Okay. This is just putting it in reference.
Yeah, no, this is great. I love that kind of reference stuff.
To that, because, well, as you've been watching it as an American watching something about, oh, Wales, that's part of England. It's not. It is a completely different country.
As this being something that they said they felt there was an attempt to be very Welsh and, feel very Welsh, do you feel like this accomplished that? In terms of at least like, any amount of like the feel with the city and the pub and the cliffs, they were going for sort of like a Welsh horror feel with like the Ghost and the Mad Jack.
Being perfectly honest with you, that pub could be anywhere in the north of England or the countryside of England. rather than Wales. The quaint little, small little pubs appear everywhere in England, but not in the big cities, because they will normally have bars and big restaurants. Normally, you'll go to the little village out in the country where you drive miles and miles, and then you find this little quaint village pub. Which, if you go, this is what I'm saying. If you go back to the Tom Baker era, there were a lot of places and the Pertwee era, where they did go to the little quaint villages, and you see the little pubs. So if you so for example, the story of Demons with John Pertwee, where they had the Cloven Hoof pub, that was actually a real pub. So that was that's in the middle of West England, and it's the middle of nowhere. You have to drive miles to get to it, and it's a nice little quaint little village. So I think it was not as Welsh as I would like it to be.
But I like from what you're saying, it almost sounds like it is still very English and very general to a lot of England. And I like the idea then that it's something that unites Wales with the rest of the UK rather than it being too Welsh focused, because with the amount of Welsh actors they used, I think it's great.
Yeah, like I said, if they spoke to Welsh, no one would be able to understand it apart from the Welsh. Even English, a lot of English people do not understand Welsh.
Here's a good... I hadn't seen this particular theory, and this makes sense that this theory was out there. Honestly, the episode was good. Kind of hoping when I first heard Mad Jack that it meant Captain Jack Harkness, but this one threw me for a massive loop. Jack is a fairly common name. It didn't click for me in the same way that just looking at, Jonathan Groff didn't go, oh, he's a new Captain Jack. No.
I didn't want to click for me, but then other people were saying it, and they do have a point. You know what these names are, you know what you're doing, but at the same time, yeah, exactly. It's John. It's just a very common name, especially for this type of horror story and ghost.
Yeah. And
Jack the Ripper, for all we know.
To evoke that. Yep.
Well, they did do a Jack the Ripper story, didn't they? In
Probably.
That's variation of the Christian's favorite episode.
And I think it came up in one of the Paternoster ones.
Yes, that's right.
But still, the point being, there's all sorts of, Jack is not a unique name. It's not. Root.
I did try to see if I can find any folklore about this story.
Not yet. I'm definitely going to be looking over the next couple of days.
I have tried to find something, but nothing matches it.
I think it might be easier now.
Maybe
we have a little bit more context.
Now there will be stuff. So yeah, exactly.
Quite good thing is the using the Cardiff soccer pitch, as you guys call it.
Yeah.
Because the dimensions, I did bring up while I was watching it, just making sure of it was. So a soccer pitch is 100 yards long, and about maximum, including things behind the pitch, is about 130 yards, and the width is about 45. So 50. So it's 100 by 50 yards pitch.
Yeah.
So you can get 73 yards in a soccer pitch, just in case people are thinking about you might have small pitches. But quite large.
Dad, Russell T. Davis, said that he went down to the Swansea Pier and measured it on foot. I don't know why 73. Maybe because it's a reasonable amount for a soccer pitch, but it's not too far. It's not the whole thing. 50 is a little bit too even.
It's a cool number. I wonder if the 73 yards, like what Kate said, is what a normal person can see at 20/20 vision. Anything past 73 yards, you can't really see it. It becomes blurry.
I missed that. Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
That's possible.
They love putting facts and stuff like that. That's why Phineas and Ferb has a song about the little thing that's at the end of your shoelace.
Yeah.
It's an aglet.
Yes. That Thank you. Thanks. I needed that in my head. Thank you. So
You're welcome.
And on that delightful note, everybody,
Squirrels in my pants.
we please come back and join us on Tuesday at 11 p.m. London time, 6 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. for me in Mountain, when we do a proper review of 73 Yards. And hopefully we will have a few more theories out there. Maybe we'll have some plausible answers.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And my brain might stop hurting by then.
Yeah, exactly.
Watch it 4 more times, like Memento.
Jonathan here. I really enjoyed so far. I've seen a lot of negative reaction to this episode. I don't know why. Loved it. Think about. We've been sitting here, so I haven't seen the reactions online. That doesn't surprise me at all, just because that's
what's happening
right now.
We tried to give a neutral perspective.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, it was definitely a head scratcher.
Definitely.
So we're gonna have to take a look, see what's. Everyone, go forth and see the thing. Candyman, you're home for a bit. You're not doing anything interesting.
No.
Kevo, what do you got going on this weekend?
This weekend we are
now
going
Tuesday.
to be... What? Yeah, no. We're going to be covering Drag Race All Stars, I believe, tomorrow, and we are going to be covering the finale and the overall second season of Beacon 23 on Sunday. So definitely come check those out.
Excellent. As for me, I've got a small town gaming section. Yes, go check out X's for Show for sure. Tomorrow I've got an hour and a half drive off to what is effectively I think they called it a parade of yard sales.
Is that 73 yards?
Yeah, maybe. We'll find out. That's creepy. I hope not. But also a game day in a small town called Acme. Yes, like yes, exactly. No coyotes blow us up. Well,
so let me get me right, Dave. You're going to a yard sale, which is yards of possibly 73 yards.
Yep.
And it's in a place called Acme where bombs might go off.
Yep.
This is why the Wile E. Coyote movie got canceled, Dave. It's you. It's your fault.
It's not me. I didn't name the dang town. I didn't move to the town.
Bless.
But yeah,
well, good luck if you
I've got a bunch of my old games that I'm going to be putting up for sale there. I'm going to be playing some games. If you happen to be running around the middle of nowhere, Alberta, please come out and check it out. Otherwise, join us on Tuesday, right back here. We're on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Please subscribe, all of that stuff. And what we'll do is we're just going to leave this image up, and maybe we'll come back in and we can add in all that stuff. I'm not going to run Tony's intro. We'll just all say goodbye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.